Before offering to host the 20th anniversary of Eurotary 87 in September 2011, we realised that having hosted the assembly in 2002, we had exhausted the attractions of our small local rural area. We therefore looked further afield for a venue that was likely to be well enough known and that had a considerable number of areas of interest. We selected the ancient city of York, which is dominated by its famous minster and is now essentially a tourist city. We therefore invite you to join us for the weekend of the 16th to the 18th of September 2011 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Eurotary 87 in what has become our traditional style. We shall be staying at the Burn Hall Hotel, 11 miles north of York. Burn Hall was originally a red brick mansion house built in 1880. During the Second World War, it became a convalescent home for soldiers recuperating after being wounded on the battlefields of Europe. It then became a family home again until passing into the hands of an Irish Catholic missionary order who intended to convert it into a school. Unfortunately, due to their lack of funds, this plan was abandoned, and Burn Hall had a checkered history before becoming the hotel and conference centre with a reputation for excellent food that it is today. On Friday, those who enjoy a long walk whilst hitting a small ball in front of them will have the opportunity to play in the annual golf tournament by playing the nearby Forest of Galtrey Parkland course. A Stapleford 4-ball is planned with perhaps a nearest the pin competition and also a straightest drive competition to enable both ladies and men to compete on equal terms. We will endeavour to arrange for better weather than Northfield managed in 2009. Registration will take place between 12 noon and 4 o'clock on Friday the 16th of September, with buffet refreshments available. There will be plenty of time to meet and greet old friends and probably to make some new ones before we meet in the Minster Suite for an informal dinner. The resident hotel DJ will be on hand to play a suitable selection of music for dancing throughout the evening. With the abnormal powers of recovery that Eurotarians have, you will all be ready after breakfast to board your coaches to visit the city of York and your selected place of interest. You will be able to select one of the following visits. York Minster. The Minster, which dominates the city, was built to rival that of Canterbury Cathedral and is the second largest cathedral in Europe. Whilst churches have stood on the site since 627 AD, the foundations of this magnificent Gothic building were laid in 1220, and the work continued for the next 250 years. The soaring height of the great Gothic arches creates the largest nave in England. The striking clock in the north transept features two 400-year-old wooden figures, Gog and Magog, marking the hours and quarters by hitting each other. The magnificent rose window, dating from 1500 AD, marks the wedding of King Henry VII to Elizabeth of York, which united the warring houses of York and Lancaster. York Castle Museum. Over 400 years of the history of York are contained in this most interesting museum, with exhibits that show you living history from the English Civil War to the Space Age, and the interactive studies that really bring the past back to life. It provides a unique window on English life over the centuries. You can walk down Kirkgate, a restored Victorian street, get to grips with weapons from Shakespeare's day, and see the castle prison's infamous residents and learn about our brutal and crooked prison system. Yorkic Viking Experience. Travel back in time for 1,000 years to discover how the famous Jorvik Vikings have influenced life in England. Jorvik, from which York takes its name, was discovered by the York Archaeological Trust. and during the years 1976 to 1981, revealed houses, workshops, and backyards of the Viking Age city as it stood 1,000 years ago. These incredible findings enabled the York Viking Centre to be built on the very site where the excavations had taken place. This groundbreaking visitor experience recreates a Viking city as authentically as possible. National Railway Museum. Experience the nostalgia of a bygone age of rail travel by visiting this fascinating museum, which features some of the oldest steam engines in the world, together with the stunning symbol of the 1930s Art Deco design of train engines in the Duchess of Hamilton. Jump on board the only bullet train outside Japan. Watch the live shows exploring the wonders of railway science and engineering, and explore the Aladdin's Cave warehouse packed with thousands of railway treasures in open storage. Get up close to railway legends, from record breakers to history makers. The coaches will collect you and take you to the York University Conference Centre for lunch. After lunch, the coaches will return everyone to the centre of York for the afternoon. Here you will be able to enjoy the opportunity to explore on your own, or perhaps visit one of the places that you did not see in the morning. The York Food Festival is expected to be held that weekend, with stalls in many streets and special exhibition events taking place. Coaches will then return you to Burn Hall, where you will be able to rest until it is time to meet in the Minster Suite for a pre-dinner drink before our formal gala dinner and dance. Music for dancing will be provided by Hooper Sound, who entertained us so well in Blackpool in 2009. Whilst the Rotarians are holding their annual general meeting, partners will visit the National Quilt Museum and Gallery, which is opening specially for the occasion. The museum is based in the splendid St Anthony's medieval Guildhall. The museum hosts changing textile exhibitions from the unique quilt collection of the Quilters Guild of the British Isles, and guest shows by contemporary artists. Coffee may be taken in the oldest pub in York, the Black Swan, which is opposite the Guildhall. Partners return to Burn Hall to join their other halves for a traditional carvery lunch, before it is sadly time to bid farewell and renew our promise to meet again in 2012. The Reek Valley Club really looks forward to welcoming you all to York in September 2011.